This has been a desire of the Israeli government that stretches back more than 25 years. Netanyahu's idea is make the Middle East in Israel's image, overthrow every government that opposes Israel.
And how do you see the game played right now by Trump administration?
The reason I want to be clear about this is that we will not have peace in this region until we have public diplomacy that is based on real diplomacy, not on CIA operations. And we will not have peace until Israel stops its militarization of the entire Middle East. Because the Syrian war is just one of 6 wars that Israel has promoted, including in Lebanon, Iraq, Syria, Libya, Somalia, and Sudan. We had the list, actually, from Wesley Clark back in 2001, when he was handed a paper in the Pentagon that the goal was 7 wars in 5 years. The only war that hasn't taken place yet, to Netanyahu's great consternation, is the US war with Iran, which Israel is still trying to instigate to this very day. So the Syrian war is part of a regional tragedy. We have tragedy in Gaza, the West Bank, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Sudan, South Sudan, and Libya that I put at the hands of the United States government and its ally Israel, because none of these wars had to happen. These were all wars of choice. They were all wars that came from the idea of regime change operations, that the United States would determine which regimes operate in which countries. We'll never have peace in this region if outside imperial powers like the United States are dictating the terms to this region. The only way to have peace in this region is if this region is determining its own future, not outside powers. And Israel could never do these wars on its own. These are American wars. America provides the financing, it provides the military backup, it provides the naval support, it provides the intelligence operations, it provides the munitions. Israel couldn't fight for 1 day without the United States backing. Israel could not be committing a genocide in Gaza without the United States' full operational complicity. I don't mean political complicity, I mean direct, daily operational complicity. This has to end. This region has been divided for 100 years, first by the British Empire and then by the American Empire. And this is going on until today. We have a genocide going on right next door. Till today, till this morning. People being wantonly killed, brazenly killed, because the United States is providing the means for this. So this is what's happening in Syria. Is the US on the fence? Hardly. It's the major actor. I know, by the way, I know firsthand that in 2012, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon appointed former Secretary General Kofi Annan as special envoy to reach a peace in Syria. I loved Kofi Annan. I love Ban Ki-moon. I worked for both of them. Kofi Annan arranged a peace in 2012. He arranged a peace in Syria. You know why it didn't happen? Because all the parties agreed to peace except one. Literally one. That was the United States of America. The United States of America said there will be no peace unless Bashar al-Assad goes the first day. The other parties said, no, you can't just determine that. Maybe there'll be a process, maybe there'll be elections agreed, maybe there'll be a 2-year process, a 3-year process. the United States said, no, Assad must go the first day of any agreement or we block it. And so Kofi Annan stepped down from his position after having negotiated a peace arrangement, and we have had 500,000 people dead since then. We should not allow this kind of criminality to be normal. This region has been at war nonstop for 30 years, actually I would say for at least 57 years, since the Six-Day War, because there has been no honest accounting of international law, no honest diplomacy. It's been militarization all the way through. And we could have peace immediately in this region. All that is required, in my view, is the United States change its veto of Palestine as the 194th UN member state, because on that basis, all the region would normalize relations and the wars all across this region would stop. But Israel has had control over US policy, and it says no. It wants greater Israel. It wants Israel in Syria. It wants Israel in Lebanon. It wants Israel in the West Bank. It wants Israel in East Jerusalem. It wants Israel in Gaza. And until that stops, we're not going to have peace. So is the US on the fence? Of course not. It's the major protagonist of this whole war and has been for the last 14 years.
منطقی و منصفانه باشد و منافع و نگرانی‌های مشروع و قانونی ما در آن لحاظ شود. جمهوری اسلامی ایران آماده ورود مجدد به مذاکرات هسته‌ای هست. جمهوری اسلامی ایران هیچگاه به دنبال سلاح‌های هسته‌ای نبوده و این سلاح‌ها هیچ جایگاهی در محاسبات امنیتی ما ندارند و ما آماده اعتمادسازی در خصوص صلح‌آمیز بودن برنامه هسته‌ای خودمون همواره بوده ایم در گذشته و الان هم هستیم. ما آماده ورود به مذاکرات هستیم اگر این مذاکرات از موضع برابر بر اساس منافع متقابل و با احترام متقابل همراه باشه.
For this visit and for his contributions. And following this visit, our president is also going to receive Foreign Minister Arakci. And once again, I would like to say welcome to our country and to Istanbul. The floor is yours, Mr. Minister. In the name of God, the merciful and the beneficiary. I would like to greet all of the members of the press, and first and foremost, I would like to thank distinguished brother, Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan, for inviting me and for his hospitality and the warm interest that he has extended to me and to the accompanying delegation. We had very productive negotiations. We talked about various different topics, about various challenges, had exchanges of opinion, both in relation to bilateral relations, regional issues, and international issues. Iran and Turkey are both neighbors and friends. And in dire days and in good days, we have always sided with each other. The relations between the two countries throughout history have always been brotherly and in a friendly manner, especially in the recent times when the Zionist regime attacked the rights of the Iranian people, and also during the recent terrorist attacks that we experienced in January. Apart from outside our country, this was actually governed and managed by the Israeli forces. The Turkish authorities have always sided with us, and they have always supported us, expressing their very valuable opinion indeed. And Likewise, in this manner, on behalf of the Iranian government, I would like to thank the whole country, the government of Turkey, to the president and to Minister Hakan Fidan. And I would also like to thank my counterpart for expressing his wishes for condolences on the lives lost during these events in Iran. We agree as both countries, both the events that are taking place in our region that are actually because of the illegitimate interventions of some outside forces. Israel regime is actually implementing some conspiracy theories and is trying to weaken the countries of the region so that there is a warfare so that they can reach their own wishes and targets. We agree with my counterpart. The Zionist regime has the intention of creating a war which is never ending, and they want to manage and govern the whole region. This is a very important threat, and this is something which all the countries of the region see clearly. In order to fight against this common threat, unfortunately, they are receiving the unlimited support of the American government, and some Western countries are also supporting them. And vis-a-vis this attack, the countries of the region and Islamic countries should be more careful. When we had deliberations with my distinguished counterpart, Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan, we talked about all the tension in our region and the destructive effect of this in our region. We believe that all the countries of the region and the safety of all these countries is the safety of the whole region. The fact that one country enters a war is going to create such a threat for the countries of all of our region, and it is going to disrupt the stability and security, and we're against all such interventions. And the plans of the Zionist regime should be what we are targeting of, and we will be welcome to participate in any countermeasures to these plans. To protect the national interest and also the regional security is our priority as Iran, and we never accept any dictation. And our previous experience has always shown that USA has never been loyal in the negotiations and has never shown any goodwill. But despite this, Iran is always ready to diplomatic processes that are based on common sense, on wisdom, on justice, taking into consideration our fundamental rights. The Islamic Republic of Iran once again is ready to sit down at the negotiation table pertaining to negotiation on nuclear arms. We never are in search of nuclear arms, and we never included this in our calculations for our own security and safety, and we have always defended that our nuclear initiatives have always been peaceful, and we are still at the same point, standing on the same position. Our nuclear activities have always been peaceful, and we never have been in search of nuclear arms. If these negotiations are based on mutual interest, mutual respect, and mutual trust, then we are ready to continue these negotiations. And if these negotiations are conducted in a just manner, with conscience, the Islamic Republic of Iran is always ready to participate in these negotiations and in this dialogue. To the government of Turkey, we do believe that their approach to find regional solutions to regional problems is the correct approach, and we are supporting this to protect the interest of our region. And we are always supporting any dialogue, any negotiation to establish peace amongst the countries of the region, so that the tension is reduced, so that stability is achieved, and we're always supporting all negotiations and would like to be a part of these negotiations. Regional ownership logic is the basis. With my distinguished friend and counterpart, Minister Hakan Fidan. We talked about Gaza, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, and the other problems. My counterpart has already mentioned our initiatives on this. We are supporting territorial integrity in Syria, and we want to see the end of the occupation of the Zionist regime. And we believe that the government should be established and strengthened with the participation of all units in Syria, all citizens of Syria. We want the stability and unity of Syria, and we believe that the stability of Syria is going to provide stability for the region. Likewise, in Iraq, in the recent elections, the wishes of the Iraqi people should be also taken into consideration. For a just election, the Iraqi people have participated with a high participation rate, and we would like to congratulate the Iraqi people for achieving this. And we are against any kind of oppression that is going to violate their choice. In relation to Lebanon, we believe that amongst all the groups, there has to be a national dialogue established. And the Lebanese security strategy doctrine, this should be the decision of the Lebanese people. We are also supporting the outcome of this dialogue, and whatever the result of that dialogue, we are siding with this. Also in Palestine and Gaza, we want the genocide to end as soon as possible, and humanitarian assistance to be provided to the people of Gaza. We would like to thank the Turkish government for their initiative in the establishment of peace in Gaza. They have really worked hard to achieve this. And also especially President Erdogan and Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan. We are grateful for their efforts because they have always exhibited a very constructive approach on this aspect. And we support any type of participation of Turkey, which is important for peace and stability of our region. And we are supporting their active participation in all these mechanisms. In relation to economic issues, we also had some deliberations. We discussed how we can overcome some economic problems. And because we have limited time, I'm not going to talk about them in detail, but I would like to suffice by saying both sides are supporting the strengthening of the economic relations. Once again, I would like to thank the officials of Turkey, starting from President Erdogan to the members of parliament, to the ministers, to the members of press, for supporting Islamic Republic of Iran, for their constructive attitude, and for their actions against the conspiracy theories of the Zionist regime and siding by Iran. I would also like to thank my distinguished brother Hakan Fidan, to the Turkish government for their hospitality, and thank you very much for your patience.